Captain Elias Varn had never expected his quiet life on the human colony of Eros Station to change so suddenly. For years, he had served as a guard, protecting his people from pirates, smugglers, and the occasional wildlife that drifted from nearby asteroids. Life was predictable, safe, and honest. He liked it that way, but today, his routine was broken by a message unlike anything he had seen before. The message was short, formal, and unsettling. It was sent by the Xiferan High Council, a governing body of an alien empire that humans had only heard of in passing. The message was clear. Captain Elias Varn, you are summoned to Xiphera. Report immediately to the alien Queen Seraphine. Special instructions will be provided upon arrival. Elias stared at the holoscreen in disbelief. Xiphera was known as a distant empire, powerful, mysterious, and largely uninterested in human affairs. Why would the alien queen personally summon a human guard? He had no enemies in the galaxy, or so he thought. Before he could consider ignoring the message, a secondary notice appeared. Non-compliance is inadvisable. Transport ship prepared. Departure in 2 hours. That settled it. Elias had no choice. He had always believed in following orders, especially when they came from forces far beyond his understanding. He packed lightly, taking only his standard guard uniform, a compact weapon, and his personal data pad. His mind raced with questions. What was this special training? Why him? And what did the Queen want with a human? The transport shuttle was waiting in the docking bay. It was unlike any human ship he had seen, sleek, silent, and gleaming with colors that seemed impossible to describe. The shuttle's interior shimmered faintly, almost as if the walls themselves were alive. As Elias stepped inside, he felt a strange mixture of fear and curiosity. A voice spoke directly into his mind. Elias jumped at first, then realized it was not a threat. Xiferans, as he had heard, communicated telepathically, and the voice was calm, measured, and undeniably regal. "Welcome, Captain Elias Varn," the voice said. "I am Queen Seraphine. You are about to embark on a journey unlike any you have known. Prepare yourself, for your path will test the limits of your mind, body, and spirit." Elias swallowed hard. Telepathy was rare among humans, but he had some training to resist it. He focused, steadying his thoughts. "I am ready, Your Majesty," he said aloud. The Queen's voice did not respond in words this time, only a gentle acknowledgement that vibrated through his mind. The shuttle lifted off, moving with a speed that made his stomach lurch. Outside the small viewing port, the stars streaked past like long trails of light. He had traveled before, but never like this. This was faster than anything humans could produce. This was Xiphera. After what felt like hours, but was likely only minutes, the shuttle entered orbit around a planet that seemed to glow from within. The surface was a swirl of colors, shifting between shades of blue, green, and violet. Massive structures floated above the land, suspended by unknown forces. This was Xiphera, the capital of an empire that humans had only dreamed of. The shuttle docked with one of the floating platforms. As the doors opened, Elias was struck by the sight of the aliens waiting for him. They were tall, taller than any human, with limbs that moved with grace and precision. Their skin shimmered like liquid crystal, and their eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. Yet despite their otherworldly appearance, there was something familiar in the way they carried themselves. Discipline, confidence, and a sense of purpose. A Xiferan officer stepped forward. "Captain Varn, follow me. The Queen awaits." His voice was melodic, almost musical, but Elias understood every word perfectly. Humans had difficulty with the language of Xiphera, yet somehow he could comprehend it. Perhaps it was the Queen's influence. Elias followed the officer through corridors that seemed to bend and twist in impossible ways. The walls pulsed faintly, responding to their movements. It felt alive, as if the building itself was aware of their presence. His heart pounded with a mix of awe and anxiety. He had trained for combat, but nothing could have prepared him for this. Finally, they arrived at a massive chamber. Light flowed in from above, illuminating the room with soft, shifting colors. At the far end stood Queen Seraphine. Her form was majestic, taller than the tallest human, with an aura that seemed to shimmer and hum. Her eyes met Elias's, and he felt an unspoken power that made him both nervous and determined. "Captain Varn," she said, her voice calm yet commanding, "you have been chosen for special training. Do not misunderstand this. It is not a reward. It is a challenge, a test. You will learn to harness your strengths, to expand your limits, and to face dangers beyond anything you have encountered on your homeworld." Elias straightened. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The Queen regarded him silently for a moment, then nodded. "Good. You will begin immediately. The first stage will test your adaptability and resilience. You will not know what to expect. Trust yourself and trust the training. Your path will not be easy, but it will shape you into something more than you are now." She waved her hand, and a holographic projection appeared in the center of the room. Images of various alien landscapes, complex machinery, and combat simulations flickered rapidly. Elias tried to take it all in, but it was overwhelming. He had never seen technology or strategy so advanced, yet something inside him stirred, a sense of challenge, a spark of curiosity. "You may have skills your kind does not understand," Queen Seraphine continued, "but remember this. In Zephora, strength alone is not enough. Only those who can combine intellect, courage, and heart will succeed." Elias nodded again, feeling the weight of her words. He thought of his home, of the colony he had sworn to protect, and of the people who relied on him. This was bigger than anything he had imagined. The stakes were higher, the challenges greater, but the opportunity was unlike any he had ever known. The chamber doors opened again, and 2 Xipheran guides appeared. "Captain, your first assignment begins now," one said. "Follow us." Elias took a deep breath and stepped forward. He had no idea what awaited him, only that his life had changed forever. The shuttle to Zephora had brought him here. But the true journey was just beginning. Each step he took resonated with purpose, as if the very floor of the chamber knew he was ready, or at least ready enough to try. As he walked, he caught one last glimpse of Queen Seraphine. Her eyes seemed to pierce through him, reading his thoughts, measuring his determination, and perhaps, just perhaps, acknowledging the potential she had seen in humans long before he arrived. And in that moment, Elias felt it, a spark of possibility. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with trials and tests he could not yet imagine, but he was a human, and humans thrived on uncertainty, on challenge, and on defying the odds. The guides led him into a hallway that shimmered with light. The walls shifted and bent in ways that made him dizzy at first. He realized the architecture itself was a test, a trial of balance, observation, and focus. Every step required attention. Every breath demanded clarity. It was the first lesson of many. In Zephora, everything was designed to teach, to challenge, to refine. Elias's mind raced with questions, but he pushed them aside. He focused on the present, on each careful step, on the feeling of the floor beneath his boots. One thing was certain. He had been chosen for a reason, and whatever lay ahead, he would meet it with courage. For the first time in his life, Captain Elias Varn felt the true weight of destiny. And as the corridor stretched before him, alive with shimmering lights and subtle hums of energy, he knew that the story of a human in the heart of an alien empire was about to begin. The guides led Captain Elias Varn through twisting corridors that seemed alive with color and light. Each wall shimmered faintly, and soft vibrations ran through the floor with every step he took. It was disorienting at first, but Elias quickly focused, reminding himself that humans thrived on challenges. Finally, the corridor opened into a massive chamber that made him stop in awe. The ceiling stretched high above, disappearing into soft, glowing mist. Platforms floated in midair, connected by bridges that seemed to hover without support. Advanced machinery hummed quietly, and holographic images of alien warriors performing impossible maneuvers danced across the space. This was Luminara Academy, the heart of Zephyrin elite training. A Zephyrin officer approached, taller than any human Elias had ever seen. His skin was translucent with faint veins of glowing blue, and his eyes radiated intelligence. "Captain Varn, welcome to the Academy. Here, you will learn to push your body, mind, and spirit beyond limits you did not know existed. Follow me." Elias followed, his boots echoing softly against the polished floor. Around him, alien trainees practiced strange exercises. Some moved in zero gravity, flipping and twisting through the air with precision. Others interacted with holographic constructs that tested their coordination, strategy, and even empathy. Elias realized that he was stepping into a world where humans were unusual, but not unwelcome. The officer led him to a central chamber where a training simulation platform hovered above the floor. The platform glowed with soft blue light, projecting holographic obstacles and combat challenges. "This is your first trial," the officer explained. "It will test your reflexes, adaptability, and courage. Humans are known for unpredictable thinking. Let us see if you can use it to your advantage." Elias nodded and stepped onto the platform. Immediately, holographic images appeared all around him. Walls rising suddenly, laser-like beams shooting in patterns, and alien combatants moving at incredible speeds. He dodged and ducked instinctively, using his training as a human guard to anticipate attacks. The simulation was relentless. Each time he thought he had mastered a section, the environment changed. Platforms shifted, new obstacles appeared, and holographic enemies adapted to his moves. Elias felt his muscles burn and his mind stretch to its limits. Yet in the back of his mind, he remembered Queen Seraphine's words. "Humans possess strengths that cannot be taught. Use them." Drawing on human creativity, Elias began improvising. When a wall rose unexpectedly, he ran along it, jumping to a shifting platform. When enemies surrounded him, he used their momentum against them, flipping past attacks and striking with precise timing. Slowly, he realized that his human unpredictability was giving him an advantage. After what felt like hours, the simulation ended. The platform's lights dimmed, and Elias found himself breathing heavily, sweat dripping down his forehead. The Zephyrin officer observed quietly, then nodded. "Remarkable. Your adaptability is extraordinary. You have passed the first stage." Elias exhaled in relief. "Thank you," he said, though he was already curious about what came next. The officer smiled faintly. "There is more to learn. Come." He led Elias to another chamber. This one was completely different. The walls were smooth and reflective, and the floor seemed to absorb light. At the center floated a sphere of soft energy, radiating warmth and vibration. "This is the sensory synchronization room," the officer explained. "Here, you will learn to expand your perception. Many Zephyrins excel in logic and precision, but humans can sense patterns others cannot. You will discover how to connect with your environment and with others in ways you never imagined." Elias stepped forward cautiously. As he approached the sphere, a wave of energy passed through him. His mind felt lighter, sharper, as if he could see small details he had never noticed. Colors appeared brighter, sounds more distinct, and even the faintest movements in the room registered instantly in his mind. It was disorienting, but exhilarating. The officer instructed him to move through a series of exercises, tracking invisible paths, sensing hidden obstacles, and coordinating his movements with subtle vibrations from the sphere. At first, Elias struggled. Humans relied on instinct, but these exercises required heightened focus and awareness. Slowly he adjusted, letting his instincts merge with the energy. By the end of the session, Elias was moving fluidly through the chamber, sensing obstacles before they appeared. The officer nodded again. "Excellent. Your human intuition is proving invaluable. Few aliens could achieve this in their first attempt." After a short rest, Elias was introduced to a group of alien trainees who would be his companions in the next stage. They came from various planets, each possessing unique abilities. One had multiple limbs and could manipulate multiple objects simultaneously. Another could shift her body density, becoming nearly invisible at will. At first, they were skeptical of Elias. Humans were unpredictable, yes, but also fragile compared to them. Elias quickly realized he would need to earn their trust. The first exercise involved teamwork, navigating a floating obstacle course while carrying delicate containers filled with energy crystals. Each member had to coordinate perfectly, or the crystals would shatter. Elias took the lead cautiously. "Follow my moves, trust me, and I'll guide us through." He improvised as obstacles shifted unexpectedly, using human intuition to anticipate the movements of his alien teammates. Slowly, they began to follow him, impressed by his quick thinking and adaptability. By the end of the exercise, the crystals were intact, and the aliens gave Elias a nod of respect. "Not bad for a human," one said. Elias smiled, realizing he had made the first step in proving that humans could be valuable allies in this strange empire. The officer returned, observing their success. "This is the essence of Zephyrin training. Strength is only part of it. Understanding, adaptation, and creativity are equally important. Humans bring qualities that are rare even among our kind." Elias felt a mix of pride and humility. He was only beginning to understand the scale of what he had been summoned for. This training was not just about combat. It was about becoming a bridge between humans and one of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. The final exercise of the day was both physical and mental. Trainees were placed in a simulated environment resembling a hostile alien world. Lava rivers, shifting terrain, and aggressive predators appeared at random. Elias had to navigate, protect his teammates, and solve unexpected challenges while under constant pressure. He pushed himself to the limit. His human instincts allowed him to notice small signs others missed: a slight shimmer indicating a predator's approach, a faint vibration revealing unstable ground. He guided his teammates, improvising plans on the fly, making decisions that were bold but calculated. When the simulation ended, Elias was exhausted but exhilarated. He had survived, and more importantly, he had helped others survive too. The Zephyrin officer's voice echoed in the chamber. "Captain Varn, you are progressing faster than expected. Your human traits, intuition, courage, empathy, are assets even the most advanced aliens struggle to master. Queen Seraphine will be pleased." Elias nodded, a sense of purpose rising in his chest. This was only the beginning, but he could already see the potential of what he could become. Not just a human guard in an alien empire, but a symbol of human adaptability and strength. As he rested for the night in the Academy's quarters, Elias reflected on the day. He had faced challenges unlike any on Earth, navigated alien technology, and worked alongside beings whose abilities surpassed his imagination. And yet, he had succeeded. Because he was human. Because humans had something the galaxy could not easily replicate: creativity, courage, and the ability to think beyond rules. He lay down, exhausted but determined. Tomorrow would bring new trials, more intense, more dangerous. But Elias felt ready. The Academy would test him, push him to his limits, and perhaps break him in the process. But he knew that humans were survivors. that humans adapted, that humans could rise to challenges no one else could. And for the first time, Captain Elias Varn felt that being human was not a weakness, but a gift. The path ahead was uncertain. The training would be grueling. But Elias had learned one important truth on his first day at Luminara Academy. He could endure, adapt, and overcome, and in doing so, he would prove that even a single human could leave a mark on an empire of aliens. With that thought, he closed his eyes, ready to face whatever trials awaited him next. The next morning, Captain Elias Varn woke early in his quarters at Luminara Academy. The soft glow of the floating lights outside his window bathed the room in calming colors. But Elias could not relax. His mind was filled with questions about the training, the Queen, and the strange powers of the Zifferans around him. He knew one thing clearly. This was no ordinary guard training. The academy was testing more than strength or combat skills. It was probing his mind, his instincts, and even his heart. He remembered the Queen's words from the day before. Strength alone is not enough. Only those who combine intellect, courage, and heart will succeed. Elias dressed quickly and left his quarters, following the guides to the training arena. Today's assignment promised to be different. The air in the arena was charged with energy. Trainees had gathered from all corners of the galaxy, each alien displaying abilities that seemed impossible. Some shimmered and disappeared into near invisibility. Others manipulated energy with their hands, forming shields or launching projectiles. Elias felt a familiar mixture of awe and unease. The officer in charge approached him. "Captain Varn, today you will face the trial of perception and choice. This exercise is designed to test your ability to make decisions under pressure and to consider consequences beyond immediate success. Observe carefully and act wisely." Elias nodded, trying to steady his breathing. The officer led him to a large circular platform. When Elias stepped onto it, the floor vanished beneath his feet. Suddenly, he was standing in a holographic simulation of a bustling alien city. The city was alive with activity, alien merchants, citizens, and vehicles moving along strange paths. "This is a test of observation and judgment," the officer said. "Your choices here will determine the outcome. Fail to understand the situation, and the consequences will be challenging." Elias took a deep breath and scanned the environment. At first, it seemed simple. He was tasked with escorting a group of civilians through the city while avoiding dangers. But it quickly became clear that the simulation was more than just physical. Hints appeared that required moral judgment. An injured child in the path of a moving vehicle. A thief stealing supplies, a panicked alien trapped under debris. He reacted instinctively, saving the child first, then helping the trapped alien while directing his group away from harm. Each action triggered new variables in the simulation. A sudden energy storm erupted, forcing him to make split-second decisions. Should he take cover in a nearby building or continue moving the civilians toward safety? Elias trusted his instincts, leading them through narrow alleys and over floating bridges. The other trainees observed, and Elias realized that they, too, were being evaluated. Unlike the aliens, he could improvise. His human creativity allowed him to adapt to unexpected changes, finding solutions the aliens might not consider. He guided the group through tight spaces, using momentum and balance to dodge hazards, always aware of the civilians' safety. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Elias faced countless challenges, false alarms, moral dilemmas, and environmental hazards designed to test his judgment. He began to notice a pattern. The simulation did not just reward strength or speed. It rewarded awareness, empathy, and clever thinking. Every human trait he had relied on instinctively was now proving to be an advantage. At the end of the trial, the platform returned him to the arena. He was exhausted, but a sense of accomplishment filled him. The officer approached, his expression unreadable. Captain Varn, you have completed the trial successfully. Few have navigated the scenario with such awareness. Your actions were guided not only by skill, but by understanding. This is why the Queen summoned you. Elias's brow furrowed. She summoned me because of what I can think? The officer nodded. Humans possess a combination of unpredictability, empathy, and creativity that many aliens cannot replicate. The Queen wishes to see if these traits can be applied to critical missions that require more than physical strength. Elias felt a strange mixture of pride and apprehension. Humans were often underestimated in the galaxy. Here, he was being recognized for what made him human. And yet, the weight of responsibility pressed down on him. The trials were not just for practice. They were preparing him for something far greater, something he had not yet been told. The officer led Elias to a quieter section of the academy. We will now begin training in strategy and leadership. You will work with a squad of mixed-species trainees in simulations designed to mimic real-life scenarios. This will test your ability to guide others and to think beyond individual actions. Elias met his new team, a diverse group of aliens, each with unique abilities. Some were wary of him, skeptical of a human leading them. Others were openly curious, eager to see what a human could do. Elias introduced himself simply. I am Elias. I will do my best to guide us, but I need your cooperation. Together, we can succeed. The squad assembled on a simulation platform that projected a vast alien jungle. Strange creatures roamed the landscape, and the terrain shifted without warning. Their mission: locate and protect a vital resource while avoiding hostile forces. The aliens immediately fell into their natural patterns, relying on instinct and training. Elias quickly realized that while they were strong and skilled, they often failed to anticipate unexpected changes. He began giving instructions, using human logic and observation to predict outcomes and guide the team. At first, there were disagreements. One alien trainee, tall and muscular, insisted on brute force. Another, smaller and faster, preferred to act independently. Elias remained calm. We need balance, he said. Strength and speed are useful, but we also need caution and observation. Follow my lead, and we all succeed. As they navigated the jungle, Elias encountered several crises that tested both skill and judgment. A collapsed bridge blocked their path, forcing him to find an alternate route. Predators appeared unexpectedly, requiring careful coordination of attack and defense. Supplies were scarce, demanding careful allocation. Through it all, Elias's human traits became evident. He noticed subtle signs others missed: a change in wind direction, a shadow indicating a predator, a faint vibration suggesting unstable ground. He made quick decisions, improvising solutions that impressed the alien trainees. Slowly, respect replaced skepticism. By the end of the simulation, the squad had completed the mission successfully. They had navigated danger, preserved resources, and kept their team intact. Elias realized something important. The trial had tested more than skill. It had tested leadership, judgment, and the ability to inspire cooperation among beings with vastly different abilities. The officer approached once more. Captain Varn, the Queen's choice is clear. Humans possess not only skill, but also insight. Your creativity and empathy make you a valuable asset in situations where raw power is not enough. This is the true purpose of your training. Elias absorbed the meaning. The Queen had not summoned him merely to learn alien combat. She had recognized that humans could contribute in ways others could not, through insight, adaptability, and moral judgment. He felt a mix of pride and responsibility. The weight of expectation was heavy, but it also gave him purpose. That night, Elias returned to his quarters. He reviewed the day's lessons, reflecting on the patterns he had noticed, the choices he had made, and the instincts that had guided him. He realized that every human trait he had once thought ordinary, curiosity, quick thinking, empathy, was actually rare and valuable in this galaxy. He thought of Queen Seraphine, her calm voice and piercing gaze. The Queen had seen potential in humans before Elias had even arrived. Now, through trials and tests, that potential was being revealed. Elias felt a quiet determination rising in him. He would meet every challenge, learn every skill, and prove that humans could stand alongside the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. For the first time, he understood the true purpose of his training. It was not just about strength or combat. It was about showing what humans could do when their minds, hearts, and instincts were fully engaged. And in that understanding, Elias found a spark of hope, a fire of determination, and a growing sense of pride in his humanity. The trials would continue, growing more difficult each day. But Elias knew he was ready to face them. For the first time, he felt that being human was not a weakness in an alien world. It was a strength that could change the course of events in ways even the most powerful beings could not predict. As he drifted to sleep, Elias imagined the challenges ahead. Dangerous missions, complex choices, and tests that would push him beyond every limit he had known. Yet he also imagined success, cooperation, and the pride of proving that a single human could make a difference in an empire of stars. And with that thought, Captain Elias Varn slept, ready to awaken as a human who could not only survive among aliens, but thrive. The morning air at Luminara Academy shimmered with energy as Captain Elias Varn prepared for what the instructors called the Trial of Unity. Unlike previous exercises, this trial would not be confined to a single chamber or a simulated city. Instead, it would stretch across a vast holographic projection of a hostile alien world, complete with unpredictable terrain, dangerous creatures, and environmental hazards designed to test the limits of every trainee. Elias felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. He had faced simulations before, but this trial emphasized teamwork more than anything. He would be leading a mixed-species squad of aliens, each with unique abilities. Success would depend not just on his skills, but on his ability to inspire trust and coordinate strategies in real time. As he approached the meeting platform, the squad gathered. They represented 5 different species, each as alien to him as the world they would navigate. One had elongated limbs and multiple eyes, capable of scanning for threats in all directions. Another could generate bursts of energy to form shields or projectiles. A third had wings, able to glide over obstacles, while the remaining 2 relied on speed and stealth. The squad was skeptical of Elias. Humans were known for creativity, but they were physically weaker than most Zypherans. One trainee, tall and muscular, crossed his arms and muttered, "Can your kind really lead us?" Elias met the gaze calmly. "We succeed together or fail together," he said. "Trust me, follow my lead, and we'll get through this." The officer overseeing the trial spoke. "Your mission is simple in explanation but difficult in execution. You must navigate the terrain, secure vital resources, and maintain the safety of your squad. Every decision affects the outcome. Remember, cooperation is your greatest weapon." The squad stepped onto the holographic platform, which immediately expanded into a full-scale projection of a rugged alien landscape. Mountains of jagged crystal rose sharply, rivers of molten energy flowed unpredictably, and strange creatures roamed, their movements quick and aggressive. Elias surveyed the environment carefully. "We need to stick together and communicate constantly," he instructed. "Use your abilities strategically. Watch each other's backs. I will guide us, but we all must contribute." At first, the squad struggled. Each trainee acted according to instinct, sometimes conflicting with Elias's directions. The tall, muscular alien rushed ahead, while the winged trainee preferred to scout alone. Elias called them together, pointing out the dangers of splitting forces. Alone, we are vulnerable. Together, we are strong. Adapt to the plan, and we survive. Slowly, the squad began to follow his lead. Elias used human intuition to anticipate threats that even the alien senses missed. A sudden tremor signaled an unstable cliff edge. A faint shimmer indicated a predator about to strike. He guided his team to safety while exploiting environmental advantages. The first challenge came in the form of a deep chasm, its surface slick with molten energy. The winged trainee suggested flying across, but the energy bursts below were unpredictable. Elias analyzed the situation and devised a plan. He instructed the winged trainee to hover close to a stable ledge, while the others used a combination of momentum and teamwork to leap across safely. It worked perfectly. The squad reached the far side intact, their respect for Elias growing with each successful maneuver. But the trial was far from over. Next, a series of aggressive creatures emerged, their forms shifting rapidly. The energy-manipulating alien tried to strike them directly, but Elias called for caution. Focus on defense first, protect each other, then counterattack. Work together, not alone. Following his guidance, the squad formed a coordinated pattern. Shields deflected attacks, agile trainees distracted the creatures, and Elias used his instinct to direct movements. The creatures were defeated without casualties, demonstrating the power of strategy combined with instinct. As the squad advanced, they reached a resource field critical to their mission. Energy crystals of a rare type lay scattered, but retrieving them triggered a hazard. An unstable energy surge threatened to explode, wiping out everything nearby. Elias assessed the situation quickly. We cannot just grab the crystals. We need balance. I will handle the first one. Others, support and protect me. Move only when I give the signal. With careful precision, he manipulated the crystals, directing energy flows and signaling teammates to act at the right moments. One mistake could have ended the mission, but Elias's human creativity and quick thinking allowed them to secure the resources without harm. The final challenge was the most dangerous, a narrow canyon with shifting walls and rising lava. The squad had to cross while being pursued by a horde of simulated predators. Every step required perfect coordination, timing, and trust. Elias took the lead. Stay close. Watch each other. Move with me. We succeed only if we move as one. The squad moved together, adjusting to changes in the environment. When the walls began to close, Elias guided them to a safe path. When lava spouted from below, he calculated trajectories and timed jumps precisely. The predators lunged, but coordinated attacks from the squad kept them at bay. By the time they reached the other side, sweat coated their bodies, and breathing was heavy. The squad had completed the trial intact, a remarkable feat considering the complexity of the challenges. The Xiferan officer appeared, nodding approvingly. Captain Varn, the officer said, you have demonstrated leadership, courage, and the ability to unify beings far different from yourself. Your human traits, adaptability, creativity, empathy, have turned a challenging trial into success. The Queen will be pleased. Elias exhaled deeply. He looked at his squad, who now regarded him with genuine respect. The tall, muscular alien approached and said, you are right. Humans are different, but effective. We followed, and we survived. Elias smiled. We succeeded because we trusted each other and worked together. That is more important than any individual ability. The officer spoke again. This trial is not just about survival. It is about creating unity where none existed. The Queen believes humans can achieve what few others can, inspire cooperation, foster trust, and make decisions that balance instinct, logic, and empathy. Today, Captain, you prove that humans are invaluable to this empire. As Elias walked back to his quarters that evening, he reflected on the trial. Every challenge had required not just physical skill, but strategic thinking and emotional intelligence. He realized that humans were unique precisely because of their combination of traits. Aliens might be stronger, faster, or more precise, but humans could adapt, innovate, and connect with others in ways that machines or highly trained aliens could not. He thought about the Queen's initial words. Only those who combine intellect, courage, and heart will succeed. Today he had seen what she meant. Success was not about being the strongest. It was about guiding others, making difficult choices, and fostering trust in unpredictable situations. Elias's mind wandered to his home planet, to the colony he had once protected. He understood now that these qualities, the ability to lead, to adapt, to inspire, were not just valuable in the academy, but in the galaxy beyond. Humans had potential that even the most advanced civilizations could not easily measure. That night, as he lay in his quarters, Elias thought about the squad. Each alien had their own strengths, yet without cooperation, those strengths would have been wasted. He felt pride not just in himself, but in the unity they had achieved together. Humans had a unique role to play, and he was beginning to understand what that role might be. The trial of unity had tested more than skill or courage. It had tested humanity. It had shown that one human, working alongside others, could achieve results that many aliens might consider impossible. Elias realized that this was the purpose behind Queen Seraphine's summons, to reveal the value of humans in a galaxy that often overlooked them. As he closed his eyes, Elias felt a quiet determination. The final stage of training awaited, more challenging than anything he had faced. But he knew he was ready. He had learned to trust his instincts, to guide others, and to apply human traits in ways that could turn the tide of impossible situations. Tomorrow would bring new trials, greater dangers, and even more complex challenges. But Captain Elias Varn now understood that his humanity was not a weakness. It was a strength that could inspire, protect, and lead. He slept with the certainty that he was prepared to face whatever the galaxy could throw at him. And in that sleep, he dreamed of the future, a future where humans were not merely survivors, but leaders, innovators, and beacons of unity in a galaxy filled with countless worlds and civilizations. The final day of training at Luminara Academy had arrived. Captain Elias Varn stood before Queen Seraphine in the central chamber, his uniform crisp, his posture straight, and his mind alert. The trials had tested every part of him: strength, agility, perception, empathy, and leadership. But this last stage promised to push him further than ever before. Captain Varn, the Queen's voice resonated calmly through the chamber, both spoken and telepathic. You have proven adaptability, courage, and insight. Today, you will demonstrate that you can apply these traits in the service of the Empire, not just in training, but in action. Are you prepared? Elias bowed slightly. Yes, Your Majesty, I am ready. The Queen gestured, and the chamber transformed. Holographic projections expanded around him, showing a sprawling galaxy filled with planets, star systems, and fleets of spacecraft. The projection zoomed into a planet under threat, a human colony on the edge of the Zipharan-controlled space. Reports indicated an unstable energy field and hostile alien creatures approaching the settlement. You will lead a squad into the field, the Queen continued. Your mission is to stabilize the environment and protect the inhabitants. Success requires not only skill and strategy, but the ability to inspire and unite beings with different abilities. Your previous trials have prepared you, but the stakes here are real. Elias felt a thrill of determination. This was no longer simulation. Real lives depended on his decisions. He gathered his squad, the same diverse group he had trained with during the trial of unity. Their faces were a mix of confidence and trust now, not skepticism. They had learned to follow his lead, and he had learned to rely on their strengths. Listen, Elias said firmly. We've trained for this. Trust each other, stay alert, and adapt. We can do this together. Every decision matters. Let's move. The squad stepped onto the transport platform, and in moments they were descending into the alien world below. The planet's surface was jagged and uneven, with energy storms sparking across the sky. Lava rivers ran through deep crevices, and the air shimmered with unstable energy waves. The humans and aliens in the colony were in panic, scrambling to reach safer ground. Elias took command immediately. Wings, scout ahead and identify safe paths. Energy manipulator, create shields to protect civilians. Multi-limbed ally, move supplies and stabilize the structures. Speed specialists, help evacuate the most vulnerable. The squad executed his orders with precision, moving like a single unit. Elias's human intuition guided them through danger zones, dodging falling debris and navigating energy surges. He anticipated hazards that even the advanced senses of his alien teammates could not detect, proving once again the value of human unpredictability and creativity. Midway through the mission, a massive energy surge erupted, threatening to destroy the colony's main water supply. The squad froze for a moment, calculating possibilities. Elias acted immediately. We don't have time to wait. Multi-limbed, support me with the containment field. Energy manipulator, focus on stabilizing the surge. Everyone else, keep civilians safe and maintain perimeter. Working together under Elias's guidance, the squad channeled their abilities, creating a synchronized effort that stabilized the surge. Civilians were unharmed, and the water supply remained intact. For a moment, Elias allowed himself to feel pride, but there was no time to pause. The threats were constant, and the mission was far from over. Next, they encountered hostile alien creatures moving swiftly toward the settlement. Elias quickly organized his team into a defensive formation. We need to anticipate their moves and act before they strike, protect the colony, and neutralize the threat with minimal harm. The battle was intense. Lava spewed unpredictably, and energy pulses from the environment interfered with the squad's abilities. Elias improvised constantly, directing each member to maximize effectiveness. When a creature broke through their perimeter, Elias used his human creativity to lure it into a trap, turning the terrain itself against the enemy. His squad followed without hesitation, a perfect demonstration of trust and coordination. By the time the last threat had been neutralized, the colony was safe. Exhausted but exhilarated, the squad regrouped. The human inhabitants cheered, and even the alien trainees exchanged looks of admiration. Elias realized that the trial had been more than a test. It had been a demonstration of what humans could contribute to an empire that often valued power over adaptability. The Queen's voice echoed across the sky, calm yet commanding. Captain Varn, you have completed the final trial. You have not only succeeded, but excelled. You have proven that human qualities, intuition, creativity, courage, and empathy can lead to victories even the most powerful beings could not achieve alone. You are now appointed Special Liaison Captain, a human representative in the Zypheron Guard. Elias felt a surge of honor. The title was more than symbolic. It represented trust, responsibility, and the recognition of humans as capable and valuable members of a galactic empire. He bowed deeply. Thank you, Your Majesty. I will serve with honor. The Queen's eyes softened. Humans are unpredictable, yes, but in that unpredictability lies potential. You have shown that strength is not measured by size, speed, or power alone, but by the mind and heart guiding it. You are the embodiment of what humans can achieve. As the ceremony concluded, Elias looked around at his squad and the academy. He remembered the first day, when everything seemed alien and impossible. Now, he stood as a bridge between two civilizations, proving that humanity had a place among the stars. Returning to the academy's central chamber, Elias reflected on his journey. Each trial had built on the last, teaching him lessons about observation, creativity, leadership, and empathy. Each challenge had pushed him beyond what he thought were his limits, and now, with the final trial completed, he understood the full purpose of his training. It was not merely about survival or combat. It was about demonstrating that humans could adapt, inspire, and lead in ways no other species could. Human ingenuity and courage were not weaknesses. They were strengths that could shape the galaxy. Elias thought of the human colonies scattered across space, often overlooked by more advanced civilizations. He realized that he carried their hopes and potential with him. By embracing his humanity, he could not only protect his people, but also earn respect and influence in worlds that had once dismissed humans as simple or inferior. The alien squad members approached him, offering nods of respect and gratitude. "You led us well," said the multi-limbed trainee. "Without your guidance, we would have failed." Elias smiled. "We succeeded together. Every one of you contributed. That is how we win, by combining our strengths and trusting each other." As evening fell, the Queen summoned him once more. "Captain Varn," she said, "your service is only beginning. There are missions ahead that will challenge you further, but I have confidence in your abilities. You will represent humanity, not as a subordinate, but as a valued partner. Remember, your actions set an example for others, human and alien alike." Elias bowed. "I understand, Your Majesty. I will not fail." Walking back to his quarters, Elias felt a deep sense of accomplishment and purpose. He thought about every obstacle he had faced, the floating platforms, the sensory exercises, the moral and strategic trials, the trial of unity, and finally, the real-world mission. Each had taught him something essential about humans: their ability to adapt, to think creatively, to lead, and to inspire cooperation. For the first time, Elias felt the full weight and beauty of being human in a galaxy filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. He realized that humanity's value was not in mimicking others, but in using its unique traits to complement and enhance what others could not do. He looked out of the window of his quarters at the stars beyond Zyphora. The galaxy stretched infinitely, filled with countless planets, civilizations, and mysteries. Elias felt a spark of determination. Humanity had a place in this vast cosmos. It could survive, thrive, and even lead. And he, Captain Elias Varn, would ensure that humans were seen for what they truly were: resilient, courageous, and indispensable. That night, as he prepared for rest, Elias reflected on the journey that had brought him here. The Queen had recognized potential where others might have seen only weakness. His training had revealed his strengths, honed his skills, and taught him the power of leadership and trust. He understood that his role was not just to follow orders, but to act, innovate, and guide others, human and alien alike. Captain Elias Varn closed his eyes, ready to embrace the future. The trials were complete, but his journey was only beginning. The galaxy awaited, and with it, countless opportunities for humans to prove their worth. And for the first time, Elias felt completely certain of one thing: humans were not just survivors. They were leaders, innovators, and beacons of hope in a universe that had barely begun to understand them. With that thought, he drifted into a deep sleep, dreams filled with stars, alien worlds, and the promise of a human legacy among them.